Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. In a previous video, I showed you how to make your own layered SVG file using one of the pro baseball team's logos because we are going to make a custom baseball jersey. It is baseball season and conveniently enough, my nephew is obsessed with baseball and loves the St. Louis Cardinals. It's his birthday as well, so I'm making him a little birthday gift. So I have my blank baseball jersey here. It is a New Era's brand and it's 100% polyester. Technically, we could actually sublimate all of this stuff and we really didn't need to do like layered SVGs. However, I have some puff vinyl that I have been wanting to try. So I'm going to put some puff vinyl on the back of the jersey for his name, and I'm going to use his baseball number. And then on the very front, I'm going to do some layered HTV for the St. Louis Cardinals logo, just on like the little top right here, just like a normal jersey would be. Okay, the very first thing you're gonna need to do is go in the description of this video and click on 2 file links. The website that we're gonna be using is called Fabrica. And if you've never heard of Fabrica, it's amazing. It's like a huge database of all these files and sublimation things and SVGs and fonts, and it is filled, and you can spend your entire day just going through this website. That being said, if you've never used them before, you get 10 free downloads, and we are going to be using 2 of those 10. I like the fact that they give us like a little trial, so we're not like committed to like a membership or anything. We get to like test our feet in this to see if we actually like the website. So we're going to be using 2. Those 2 files are going to be linked in the description of this video. And then all you're going to need really is your Cricut design space. And if you wanted to make a custom jersey, we have some puff vinyl on hand. This is the teckwrap's black puff vinyl. And then I'm probably going to use some Polytape HTV for the rest of it, only because I have an ample amount of that. And I believe I have all the colors I need in Polytape's branded HTV. All right, let's get started. Okay, so for you, you're going to open up a blank window in design space, unless you watch my previous video where I showed you how to upload this Cardinals logo. Here I am using like a pointer. Unless you watch the video, you are going to already have the Cardinals logo already logged in or uploaded into that. If you haven't done this part, go back and watch the layered SVG tutorial to show that I show you how to make this. Okay, the very first thing I want to do is I'm going to insert a text box, and I'm going to put my nephew's name, and then we're going to go into font, and this is going to be a downloaded font, so we're going to go over here into systems, and I'm going to search up baseball. The one that I decided to use was the American baseball, and it's kind of like that grungy. I'm going to make this really big, and do you see how it just kind of looks like old and tattered and worn? That's kind of the feel that I want for this jersey. Okay, so I'm going to make this small, back to being small again. And what you want to do is you want to take your jersey, because all jerseys are made different and the sizes are made different. What you want to do is you're going to take your jersey, you're also going to take a fabric measuring tape, and you're going to measure across the inside portion of the jersey. So like this, whatever that is, mine is 16 inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a shape, and I'm going to insert a square. It doesn't matter what square, rounded corners, not rounded corners, it doesn't matter. My width, I'm going to unlock right here, unlock this lock. We're going to make this width 16 inches. And then I'm going to take my fabric measuring tape again, and I'm not going to go to the very top because we don't really need anything at the very top. I'm going to go down to where I'm going to start my jersey, the name, and I'm going to go all the way down towards the very bottom of it, and mine's 18 inches. And then I'm going to just press tab and then click out of that. Okay, I'm going to change this over into a lighter color just so we can see what we're doing. And then I'm going to arrange this to the back. Okay, and you see that this box, you're going to have to like think outside of the box here. Think this box is the back of that jersey. And if we cut this the way it's looking right now, what's going to happen is that name is way too big for that jersey, right? So let's just make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and in all baseball jerseys or even football jerseys, it kind of has like a little bit of a curve, right? So let's go over here into curve, and let's curve our text just a little bit. I want to curve it down. just a little bit. I want to make sure that it looks like a really good baseball jersey for my nephew. Okay, making sure that the name still fits inside that yellow box. Remember, if it ain't fitting in the box, it ain't going on the jersey. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to put his number. He plays baseball and his baseball jersey number is number 7. So I want to put that on his baseball jersey. So I'm going to come over here into upload and we're going to go to upload image. Then what you want to do is find the file that we downloaded. So open up that file and then we're going to press SVG and it came with letters and numbers. I am only going to use the numbers where I'm going to find the number 7. So find whatever number or letter that you need. And we're going to click on the 7. We're going to drop it in to Design Space. I'm just going to leave the 7, but add in just so when we go to find the file later at a later time, you won't have to remember the number. You can just search up baseball and it'll populate for you. And then press upload. When it's uploaded, we are just going to click on that. You're going to know you clicked it because it's going to pop up here and press add to canvas. And I'm going to drag this down and I'm going to place it inside of my jersey. Remember, anything that is on the outside of the yellow box ain't fitting in the jersey. But I do want to make it just a little bit smaller because I want that puff vinyl to really shine. So I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller. Okay, and I actually forgot a step. Silly me. We're going to change Benny, the name, over from this like charcoal gray color. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to change it to black because we are going to be using black puff vinyl for that. And it's going to be the St. Louis Cardinals is the theme. So I am going to click on the number 7. Oh, and you know what? It looks like there's some fixes that we need to do with this because I don't like the way this loaded up. So let's do Command D, which is duplicate. I always like to keep the original version on our canvas just in case we mess up. We don't have to like go searching for the image again. And I'm going to drag this over. Now I'm going to show you exactly why this is not like the file that I would love to have to cut on the Cricuts because it's going to be really small. Let's do Command Shift G, which is ungroup, and we're going to drag these pieces away. So you're left with something like this. This is going to be like an outline. And then you have this portion. Do you see these small little rivets of the baseball? Those would be killer to have to try and layer back into or to figure out. Like it would just be too hard. So I am not like someone that likes hard projects. So we are going to make sure that we get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this black, I'm going to Command D, which is duplicate. This black right here, this original black, I am going to press this contour button and I'm going to press hide all contours. And I'm going to click out of that. Now we are using the St. Louis Cardinals colors. So instead of doing black for me, I'm going to change this black over into that navy color that's in the St. Louis Cardinals logo. Going back over into the black duplicated 7 that we did, I'm going to drag this up. I'm going to press contour. Now I don't need another very outside shadow. I need this inside portion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over to the outside portion. You see how it kind of got a little bit darker? If we click on that, you'll see it changed right here to like a grayed out. If we click out, now if we drag this over into our dark blue, this is now going to be your white. So let's do this and white. Now what we're going to do is taking this red, I'm going to arrange this to the front and I'm going to drag this over here. And I'm now going to color match this to the St. Louis Cardinals color. So I'm going to click on it and then I'm going to do that burgundy color and click out of it. That is going to make sure that we don't have to have all these small little pieces to re-glue. We have like big pieces to glue together, right? Or if we're doing HTV, we only have like big pieces to weed out, right? Don't have to worry about these small little pieces. So let's delete that. We're going to select all 3 of the layers that we have and align it to the center just to make sure it looks all good. I'm going to Command G, which is group. I'm going to regroup that. Now we can delete this 7 because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to drag this over and I'm going to make sure that it looks really good with the rest of my name. I like this. That looks so good. Okay, with our St. Louis Cardinals logo, I'm going to Command Shift and G, which is ungroup. I'm going to zoom in and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to rearrange these till they fit all together and line up. Now I'm going to put this on the front corner of his jersey right here. So then just using your measuring tape, you're going to measure how big of the space that you need. So I have about a 3 by 3 inch window of that would look really good for this jersey. So now that we have our back of the portion of the jersey finished, I'm going to click that square and I'm going to move it over to my position of where this is. So we're going to be at the X position of 48 and the Y position. Oh, it's right there. So I don't even have to do the Y position. And remember what I said, we are going to change this over to 3 by 3. Now using just the Cardinal, I'm going to select everything, making sure that the lock is locked. I'm going to resize this to where it's going to fit inside of that box. Remember what I said earlier. If it don't fit in the box, it ain't fitting on the jersey. There we go. All right. And then when you're done doing that, we can just click on that yellow box and delete it because we don't need it anymore. Make sure and save your file. Now, when you are working with HTV, always, always, always remember to flip your project. I like to do this at the very beginning of the project before we get into the cut screen. So I'm going to select everything. Since I'm using HTV, I'm going to flip this horizontally. If you can read it, don't cut it. If you are using HTV, if you can read it, don't cut it. Remember that. That is like a rhyme that I always say to myself. If you can read it, don't cut it. Just because you don't want to waste any type of HTV. If you're using puff HTV, this stuff ain't cheap, right? So we want to make sure that we're not going to be wasteful. Okay, then just come over here and to make it. And I'm going to do multiple ways and I'm going to press confirm. I'm going to come down here because it looks like the size that I had, it's going to be larger than 11.5 inches. And so I'm just going to scroll down and I am going to actually need a 24-inch map for this project. And we're just going to make sure that everything is loaded up. In order to keep on wasting, I am just going to drag this over and I'm going to tuck it in, making sure it's not overlapping. If you cut it, if you put it like this, what's going to happen is you're going to have double cuts and you're going to be angry. We want to make sure that the two pieces aren't touching. Looks good, looks good. Doing the same thing with the navy. We're just going to make sure it's not touching. Okay, that's it. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this on our Cricuts and then come back to me and I will show you how we are going to press this. I don't know about you, I have never used puff HTV. I have done plenty of projects with regular HTV, so this is going to be a learning for me and hopefully I don't ruin a birthday gift. All right, I will see you in a second. Okay, when you are working with HTV, what you want to do is put the front side down. So the shiny side, or what has like the plastic backing, needs to go down onto your mat. So I always like to do this. Okay, we're just gonna roll this out just a little bit, but that is it. So just make sure that the shiny side or the carrier sheet always goes down when you're working with HTV. Okay, so I always like to cut off any really big excess because this would be a ton of waste that would be going into the garbage. And then I already did that with other pieces of vinyl. I just cut off the excess because I don't want to waste anything. Okay, using your weeding pick or tool, I absolutely love this weeding pick. I'm telling you, if you can buy anything, it would be this. It is amazing. It holds like a pen, but it has like a really, really sharp needle in there. It'll make you bleed, so be careful. And it is it just makes the weeding process go so much easier. Okay, when I have mine cut, my first thing cut out, I'm just gonna cut out the logo just to separate it because it's gonna go in two different spots on our shirt. There we go. Let's work on the white. Do you see that small little thing right here? That is the eye to the Cardinal. This is Polytape's HTV and holy cow. That is so teeny. Oh my gosh. Let's not lose that piece. So I'm going to leave it a little bit big, but yikes, that thing is small. Okay, so let's put this. I'm just going to layer this on top for right now. This is called dry fitting. There is our baseball bat and beak. I'm going to lay this on top of our Cardinal. I'm not going to worry about that eye because I definitely don't want to lose that eye. Okay, doing the red now. Okay, cutting out the little bit of Cardinal. And we have our baseball right here, our baseball number. Oh my goodness, look at that. Woo, I'm going to be obsessed. Okay, the very last step is we have to weed out our name. That was so easy to weed. Oh my goodness. Okay, look at that. This stuff was so easy to weed. I cannot believe, I mean, it was even easier to weed than the regular stuff. I cannot believe it. This is going to be so cute. Okay, so let's work on the very front portion of our jersey, because when you're working with puff vinyl, you do not want to press this multiple times because it will ruin the puff. So that's what would happen if we did this first. So let's work on the little portion first. That said, I'm going to be using my small mini heat press for this because it is that, I mean, the logo is that small and it's not going to require a whole lot of heat. I don't want to put an extreme amount of heat onto the HTV because I don't want it to shrink. Okay, with layered HTV, you always want to start with the very back portion of whatever it is that you're layering. So we have the white and the yellow, red, and then the blue. So we're going to do the blue first because that's our very bottommost layer. And I'm just going to line this into the corner of the shirt, just like that. Okay, you don't need this to be extremely hot for right now. We just want to tack it down. We're going to do a good final press at the very end, but we just want enough heat on our logo to where the HTV is going to sit on top of the jersey. It's okay if it's not tacked down all the way. Trust the process. We don't want an extreme amount of heat. What happens is if you put too much heat on your logo, you will have shrinkage and then your logo won't line up all the way. So you just want to make sure there's just barely enough heat on there just to tack it down. Doing the same thing with the red, a little bit of heat. The baseball bat and the beak. Okay, now that I have exposed the HTV, I'm just going to lay on some parchment paper. If you have a silicone like Matt, you can do the same thing. Just putting a little bit of heat down, just zapping it so it lays down flat. Okay, now let's add in the little baby eyeball. Okay, and zap that in there. Okay, now when you have it all done, this is now a finished logo. We are gonna lay our parchment paper down and we're gonna do one good final press. And there we go. Look at that. Perfectly layered, looks amazing, yes. Okay, going back over into this spot right here, the back portion, I am just going to dry fit everything in. I wanna make sure it looks really good. Okay, and then I'm gonna take off Benny's name. I'm gonna take off all the layers. Okay, I'm gonna move over to my heat press and I'm gonna just press this. Because we're doing the same thing as before on the layers of HTV, you do not wanna do a full press. Just a second or two is fine. Okay, so the heat press is heated up. I have unbuttoned the jersey and I put a little bit of heat resistant tape just so I can transfer it from my workplace to my heat press. The same thing we did before about doing limited heat. I'm just gonna put this down and I'm only going to do like a second. Pressing that R button will lift it back up. Remember, we just want a little bit of heat. Okay, taking this apart, we want to now be working on the white portion. So I'm just going to take this off, only do the white, layering this on top of the blue. Okay, because we have exposed HTV, I'm going to put down a piece of parchment paper, put it in there, doing the same thing, really light presses. Okay, now we got the final step, which is the red. Okay, remember we have exposed HTV, so I'm putting this back and doing a final press. Doing it really quick. Remember, we just need a little bit of heat. Okay, let's open this up. All right. Okay, now before I take this off the mat or off my heat press, I'm going to just drag this down. Straighten this out just a little bit. Okay, and now for this step, I am going to add in my nephew's name, making sure that we have a good center on this. You know, and if you're not confident in your placement, what you could do is take some little bit of heat resistant tape. Let's hold this up. I think that's gonna look so cute. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on there and I'm gonna press this for the full time it needs. Making sure everything is gonna be on my pressing mat. Yep, okay, we're gonna do the full time that it's going to need. So I'm gonna put that in there. Okay, let's pull it out. Peel this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This looks amazing. Look, oh my goodness. Hold on, let me button it up before I show you. I am so impressed with this stuff. Okay, here is the cutie little front of the jersey. Are you ready for the back? The back is so killer. Look at that. Oh my goodness, this looks so stinking cute. And the, like, it's almost, it feels like rubber. Oh my goodness. This is gorgeous. I think Benny is going to love this. This is such a good birthday present. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I will see you later.